Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Now today I have a funky fold to share with you, and it was inspired by a lady who contacted me about a card. And as it turned out, I wasn't the original card artist, but it inspired me to create it, recreate it, and to share it with you. So that's what we're going to do today. So this is what the card looks on the front, and then it's got a couple of surprises. So it opens up like this, and then like this, and you just slide that piece underneath. And then in the middle, we have a little easel card. So this just pops up like that, and you've got your greeting. And so it can sit on a shelf, on your mantle, to whoever you ever send it to. And it's really cute. So I'm going to share with you how to create this card. I'm going to do a slightly different version. I'm going to do sort of a more masculine version. And since we're literally on the cusp of the summer holidays here in the UK, I'm going to do a beach theme. So I'm pop that up out the way. Now you're going to want to start with a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 8.5. So it's a square. Now, if you're using A4, you can use 8.25 by 8.25. It's just that you're just going to make your layers slightly different size, slightly smaller, and it'll work just as well with the A4 size paper. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to score it at 4.25 on both sides. So if you are using A4, you're going to score at 4 1/8. So make sure I got my cutting blade out of the way. And we're going to do 4 1/8, 4.25 by 4.25. There we go. Right, so that is that bit. And then if we put your folds in gently, it makes just a little bit easier to see. What we're going to do is we're going to cut just on one of this score line up to the center point. So we're just going to line that up here. So that should be on 4.25. I'm just going to pull it down a bit so I can see. Right. And then we're just going to get our cutting blade, and we're going to start on 4 1/4 and slide up to the top. And now we've got our piece. So if we put our folds in, so we're just going to put the folds in nice and firmly with your bone folder. Now the card itself, when you create it, is going to go up like that and then fold in half. And as you can see, we've got a bit too much card here. It's fighting itself. So I'm just going to use some scissors, and I'm just going to take a tiny little wedge, very fine little tiny strip off of each side. I mean, you can see how small it is. It's just the tiniest little strip. And then if we fold it in half, you can see that all that sort of puckering is gone. And I'm just going to use my bone folder, line up all my bits, all my edges and corners, and then just go in and put in that extra fold. So there we got everything. And the card is going to go like this, and it doesn't matter whether you put right over left or left over right, whichever way it's going to work for you. Now, we're not going to adhere anything. These pieces don't get stuck down, because you can see even with this, just the card, it's sitting there quite nicely without anything in it. So we're now going to do some decoration. Now, so I don't lose my place, I'm just going to mark on here that this is the top and the front. That'll all be covered up, but now I know I'm not going to get lost with all these pieces. So I have done a bit of prep ahead of time, and I'm using this lovely sort of sea-worn paper. It is a Stampin' Up paper. It's called Country Woods. So you use whatever papers work for you. So this is going to sort of go like that. Okay, that's how we're going to end up. So I'm going to pop that piece of paper to one side. I'm only going to be sticking down these first two pieces to start with. And, oh, there's my adhesive. So these pieces are, I believe they're 4x4. So we want to stick them here. And I've just got a small margin, 1/4 of an inch. Now, if you are using if you're using 8 1/4 paper by 8 1/4, you would probably need to make your, oh dear, we're running a bit low here. You probably need to make your layers maybe like 3 7/8, or you can make them the same as these ones, 4. It just means that you've got a finer margin around the sides here. So there's our two back pieces, like that. And then I'm gonna just, let's put this as it should be. And then our front piece. Now, our front piece, I've cut this 4x4. And instead of using this side, I'm thinking I'm going to use this side there, like that. So this is, I think this is 3 7/8, this piece. I'm going to have to get another bottle of adhesive out in a minute, because this is driving me kind of nuts, but it's working at the minute. So we're going to stick this. Now, when I make my cards, I always like to attach the smaller piece of paper or card to the larger piece. And that way I know I'm not going to get adhesive that will show around here. Now, rather than just sticking that down, I'm going to put a little bit of decorative bits here, like this. Let's get my ribbon scissors. So this is just a piece. This is, I think this is crumb cake. I think that's what it's called. And I'm just going to attach it to the back of my card with some sticky tape. You can use like a tape runner or something like that, but I always like to use adhesive tape. And I will run this over with my bone folder, just to make sure it's well and truly stuck. So I'm going to be popping that on the front like that. And I've got some, I pre-cut some seashells and some starfish. So I've used this little set I found in a local shop here, which is really super, because not only it cuts, but it also embosses the some sort of features on it. So I'm thinking that I could attach these like this to give me my sort of beachy theme. Let's see, like that. Maybe. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it just yet, but that's kind of the idea. So now we're going to do the, if you like, the pièce de résistance on this card. Is we're going to do the sort of the pop-up, or if you like, it's a mini easel card that we're going to pop in there. Right, so pop this all to one side, out of my way. Now what you're going to need is some circular dies, or if you've got big punches. This set, you can see it's got bukus of circles in it. What I did was I found the circle that would fit within the footprint of my card, like that. And then I took out the next two down to create my other layers. So that's my starting point for my little easel card. So we'll need a piece of cardstock. This is about 4 inches wide, or just under 4 inches. So my piece of cardstock is about 4 by 8, 4 and something by 8. And all I'm going to do is to score it in half. So let's just check what we've got. We've got 8 1/4. So we're going to do 4 1/8. I'm just going to score 4 1/8 like that, and we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to give it a good burnish. Make sure that that is nicely scored. And then we're going to cut our circle. So here's my die cutting machine. Or this one also embosses. And you're going to take your, oh blue, I just dropped that on the floor. There we go. You're going to take your die and you're going to position it just a little bit above the fold, so that when you cut it and you open it, you've still got a fold at the top. So to make sure that this little sweetheart doesn't move, I'm going to put in some sticky tape like that, just to hold it steady. Now it's up to you how big a fold that you want, and I've just made sure that I've got something reasonable that's not going to sort of break with repeated sort of use. So I just crank that through fairly slowly because we've got a lot going on there. There we go. And we'll check that out like that. Just gently peel that paper away, take my die off. And here we've got our piece here. Oh, Ro. Oh, what happened there? Oh, I cut it on the wrong damn side. Oh dear. Never mind. Never mind. We can do this. Oh, just shows you how easy it is to do. Right, this is going to be a bit tight, but we're going to do it again. I can't believe I did that. So let's just score at about 4. Right, well, there you go. And I'm not going to edit this out because, you know, we all make mistakes. And I'm sure when you saw me put that die on, you were shouting at me, "It's not on the fold, it's not on the fold." Right, let's see, we can, this is going to be a bit on the tight side, but we're going to make it work since I haven't got another piece of card handy. Right, so this time it is definitely on the fold, and we're just going to crank that through. There we go. I can't believe I did that. Never mind. And if I've done it again, we're just going to have a good cry. Now, I've got a little bit missing here, but that's not going to bother me. Okay, there we go. That's what we expected a few minutes ago, but now we've got the piece that we want. We're now going to cut out another piece in the same color. Let me see. Oh, I think I already did it. I did, rather than waste time with cutting it out. So I cut out another piece exactly the same size, and then using the next die down, I cut another circle like that. So those are my pieces. I've got one more to cut, and this is the piece that I'm going to place on the bottom of my card, underneath the here we go, underneath where the little easel card is going to go. But I want to use some of the paper on my little easel card. So I'm going to take the smallest piece, die, and I'm going to cut it out of here. And that way I'm sort of utilizing my paper as much as I possibly can. And now I think I've got all my pieces cut, and then we can get rid of the machine. There we go. Oh, that is heavy. Okay, so let's see how we're doing. Are we still in frame? We are. Brilliant. Okay, so I could use it like that, but I think that since the front of my card has got the blue on it, I'm going to use this side in my card. Okay, so we're going to get this stuck down. It's got another glue. Here we go, that'll do. So I'm just going to stick this piece down. I just got a different bottle of glue out because I can see there's plenty in this one. Okay. And we're going to stick that down like that. Right. Okay. Now I'm not going to attach it to here just yet, because when I assemble the card, I want to make sure that my grain is going up and down. And so I want to, as I say, do that as I assemble the card. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our piece with the hinge, and we're going to, on one side, on the front or the top, we're going to score halfway. And we can do that. I'm just lining up the two pieces here. In fact, what I might do is I might use this as my front piece. Right, yeah. So I'm just going to line up the two biggest points and see where the center is. And then get my... And it doesn't have to be absolutely exact. So I've got my score. And I'm going to fold that and burnish it. And that gives me my little easel like that. Then I'm going to take this other piece and we're going to attach it. Now, I use my decal edged circles. If you've got plain circles, then obviously they will work beautifully. Or if you've got scalloped circles, they will work beautifully. So we are going to now stick this circle to our base, and I'm going to put my adhesive on the folded part. Now, those of you who have been following me know that fairly recently we returned to the UK after 23 years in the US, and all my supplies have been packed up. Well, the good news is that my supplies are now all unpacked, but they're not yet organized. So I've got access to everything, but it takes me a while to actually find them. And when I get my room sorted out, I will share that with you. Right, so there's our easel piece like that. Now then, what are we going to do now? I think we can now safely. Now, as I keep on putting right over left, but that's just naturally me. If you naturally do left over right, you go ahead. So, and do it that way. So this is the bit that's going to show. And so I'm going to attach this to the base of the card. Right, like that. So maybe when I get everything sorted, I'll do a little video of my newest corner. This is going to be about the third or the fourth corner I've had since I started my adventures in card crafting. So making sure that I've got this the right way. Can you see that completely covers that hole? So I'm not at all concerned about the fact that it's got a hole in the middle. And we are just going to add adhesive. Now, you can use a tape runner for this. However, I would make sure that it's a really strong tape runner, or you use double-sided adhesive, tape, or you use liquid like this, because this piece is going to be, so what I need to make sure is that this bit is sort of into the corner, because this piece is going to be manipulated quite a bit, and you don't want it to pop off in the recipient's hands. So there, we've got that piece, and you can see that it actually is facing the corner here. Okay. So now that I have got this, I can put this piece down, because I know now that I could line it up, I suppose, but I'm going to have it like that, so that the grain is sort of running, if you like, top to bottom. Right. There we go. And I think we're nearly there as far as the construction is concerned. So we'll just get my other card out. So we've got that. So now what we need to do is we need to have a little greeting and a happy birthday. And we need to sort of put somewhere there that you can write your to you, love from me on there. So I've got, did I cut another circle? But did I have white? Did I do that? Was I that well organised? Let's make sure I got the right size and I'll quickly run one off. Now, what size did I use on this card? On the inside. I think I used this for the larger one. Yeah, I did. So this is the middle size one of the three. I've got to find somewhere to put that so I can see. All right, give me a second. We'll get this bit cut. And then right. And then we can just stick that down like that. So this is literally just enough to write to you, love from me. If you wanted to put a bigger message, you could always attach a piece here and you could write a more sort of a longer, more personal message, and then that would tuck underneath, and then nobody else could see it except the recipient. So that's an idea of what you could do with that piece. So now we need to think about just doing a little bit of greeting, and I've got a really cute happy birthday, just a little one like that, and we're going to use some Misty Moonlight ink. It's the same, it's the blue, same blue as this colour. I retired as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator when I left the US, and so I have such a lot of Stampin' Up! Stuff that we're going to continue to use because I love it. I mean, I genuinely love the Stampin' Up! Products. I would work with them for nearly 15 years, and I loved the cardstock and the inks and everything. So, but I am starting to experiment with other products, and I'm bringing those to you as well. Right, so we're going to cut there like that, and I'm going to get that out of the way. Trim this. Now, because I used my decal-edged circles, I also use my decal-edge trimmer for my layers, but I'm not using it for my greetings because I want to trim them finely. And to be honest with you, it's not as easy to trim with that decal-edged trimmer as it is with this one. This needs to take a tiny little bit off of here. This is just a tiny bit too wide there. And then I believe this piece here I cut is like 5/8. So I need a strip. So it's just, do I use crumb cake or do I use this colour? Let's see what would work best. I think I like the crumb cake. So we're going to cut a strip 3/4 of an inch like that. Oh, we need that bit. We need that bit seamed. Okay, let's clear the mess. And I'm going to just stick this down onto my piece here. We still, oh yeah, still in shot. And then we're just going to cut the end off like that. So we don't have to worry about measuring or anything. That's going to work. Okay, so let's do this. I'm just going to attach that like that. Sometimes the simplest things mean the most. And then we're going to pop some sticky foam pads on the back here. I'm just going to do 3, I think. Not going to do. And that's, we need to have an extra thickness because we are using this as a little tuck for the for this easel. So we're going to pull it up, and I'm just going to line it up so those bottom corners are level with the outside of the circle, and so that will actually sit like that. And then so let's just pop that like that, like that. And I quite like the fact that we've got lots of variation. So if I'd used the stripy, that would have kind of got lost in there. So I'm really pleased with how that has come out. I'm just going to put this on here. This adhesive dries in a heartbeat. So it goes up like this, up like that, like that. And now we're with our front piece. So we've got our front piece. Now you can pop this up on some dimensionals, but I am just going to see if there's anything left in here. And oh, there is some left, but it's there. That's it. I think that is well and truly retired. And so top front, so we didn't lose our place. This little white mark is actually in the paper. It's not damaged or anything like that. It's actually in the paper. So, because it looks weathered. And I had some of this linen thread, which I thought looked a weeny bit beachy-fied as well. So let's cut a piece off, and we fold it on itself several times, and we'll hook it underneath here, and we'll just tie a simple knot like that. And to make sure that it doesn't move, we're going to put a glue dot underneath there. And then we're just going to cut all these loops. So that's a bit of decoration. I also found I had some of these little cork dots. So if we just stick some of these down to just finish off, and I might just tweak with it after the video's finished, just to, and then I'll take a picture of it as well. Now if we pop one of these up on a dimensional, I'm quite liking the way it's coming out now. Maybe I don't need to, maybe I don't need to mess with it too much. Now, did I have any more of these? I thought I had some more. I thought I had another 1 or 2. I thought I had 6 altogether, so I got 5. So one must have escaped underneath the stuff I had. Oh, look, there it is. And we can pop this one up there. So I think this video has gone on a tad longer than I like it to, but we did have a little snafu in the middle that we needed to put to rights and there. So hopefully you have managed to stay with me and it's not been too tedious. We just got these little cork things, which I think would just give a little bit of additional sort of texture and dimension. And then maybe we'll pop one up here. And then I'll do another one in there. Okay, so there we are. I do hope that you have enjoyed this particular funky fold. I certainly enjoyed working on the idea after it was suggested to me. So we have a sort of a male and a female version like that. Well, if you have enjoyed this video, perhaps you'll just go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I certainly appreciate you choosing to spend some time with me today, and I will look forward to seeing you next time with another project. Thank you and bye-bye for now.